Hello. All right. So I thought it would be a great idea, just in case you're thinking about traveling or being at a different location than your normal home for a while, that we have a small discussion around scale hopping. So I had a client who went to go visit her father, and she started to use her father's scale to weigh herself, and she was 5 pounds heavier. And she was very upset, and she emailed me, and I reminded her, and what I'm going to remind you is that all scales are calibrated differently. I literally have two different scales, two different brands. And when I put them on the exact same floor, I weigh them under the exact same conditions. One weighs me 2 pounds heavier than the other. And so, and both of them, when I calibrate them, and the way that I just make sure that they're accurate is I have a pre-existing kettlebell that weighs a certain amount, and I step on it, I put the weight on. They both actually read within a pound of the kettlebell weight. So the reason I share this is because most scales, whether it's your doctor scale, your home scale, your family member scale, you can always assume there could be up to a 5 pound variance from scale to scale. And the reason I want to talk about this is because if you're going to be somewhere for a very short period of time, for a few days, say it's like you're going for Thanksgiving weekend, you may not even want to step on it, to be honest with you. It's just going to be more stress than it's probably worth. But let's just say I have a client right now who's planning a 3-week trip to Florida, and she's going to be staying there for some work-related things and things like that. She wants to get a cheap bathroom scale and use it while she's there. And so what I told her, if you're going to be there for at least a solid week, if not longer, and that really is something you don't want to break the habit with, is weighing yourself daily, that you want to go and not include those weights on something like your happy scale. I would just do it for your own curiosity. I wouldn't include it on where you typically weigh yourself on the regular. The other thing is, let your first 3 weigh-ins kind of give you a guide as to what this new scale says. So if you're going to be there for 2 weeks and the first 3 days you weigh in and you're 150, 151, 152, then you can say that, okay, this is where I'm at here, and look at where you were at home. And it just gives you a general idea of if that scale is higher or lower, and then you can kind of use that as just your reference point while you're there on the trip. But again, I wouldn't add any of those weights to your happy scale. I would leave that vacant for the time you're on your trip. I would just focus on your home base scale being what you use, unless you're somebody who travels a lot, and then that's a whole other situation. I'm talking about somebody who's just going away for one trip, one vacation, something to that effect. Short trips, maybe 3 days or less, don't bother. If you're going to be there a week or longer, use the scale responsibly. That means you don't give it too much, no pun intended, weight. You use it as a reference point. Think of it as maintaining your habit of weighing daily if you want to, but realize that scales can be off 5 pounds from scale to scale, totally normal, and that it really should not be included with your data set, because your data set should reflect your home base scale and what your average is under normal conditions. Vacation's normally not normal for most people. They're drinking more, eating more, air flight might be included, increase in exercise or decrease in exercise. There's so many variables, overhydrated, underhydrated. So it's better just to kind of, again, when you go, check and see where you are, but realize that's not a good marker for like where your long-term range of weight is, your averages, things of that nature. So I feel this is a good public service announcement, as I've seen people having lots of struggle with this. And I wanted to make sure that we touch base on it. So that's kind of how I would encourage you to think about traveling, weighing in, using other people's scales, always with a grain of salt, always with Heather saying in the back of her head, in your head, this scale could be 5 pounds different from the one you use at home, and not to be using it as your reference points for your happy scale app. try to stick only to weighing in at home under normal conditions for Happy Scale. I hope this video helps. Please like and subscribe. Share these videos with other people who might need help. And let me know in the comments how I can better help you. You guys have a good one. Take care.